Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we are looking at the top 5 hardest tanks to play in the tech tree in World of Tanks Blitz. Now, I do sound like I have allergies really bad right now, so my voice is a little kaput. But yes, we are looking at the top 5 hardest tanks to play, and we're going to be looking at, all of these are going to be above tier 5. I mean, most of them are going to be tier 10. I mean, it's the hardest tier to play. And there are a lot of hard tanks to play in it, so most of these are going to be tier 10. Not all of them, but most of them. So let's jump straight into it. So coming in at the 5th spot, we do have the Leopard 1. Now, I'm putting this at the number 5 spot because this tank has very little armor, and that is a very big disadvantage in this game. While it does have great mobility and a fantastic gun, which makes it very good, you have to have good knowledge of the tank maps and how the enemy team will react to certain things to play this tank effectively. Now, when it plays effectively, it can be one of the best, not maybe even if the best medium tank in tier 10. And it's a very good tank besides how hard it is to play, so that's why it is at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the Bat Chad 25T. Similar to the Leopard 1 for why it is in this spot, it has very little, no armor, HEs all around on it, and it is a light tank as well, and it has a clipper, which makes it even harder because that clip has low DPM. While the DPM isn't really that bad, you're still sitting at, where's the DPM? If I can look and see the DPM, where is the DPM? Oh, I'm blind. All right, it's 2,700, which if you go back, compare that to the Leopard, which has, if I can remember, 3,200. It is less DPM. While it is not a ton less, it is still less. And while it is also a very good tank, it is very hard to play. So, coming in at number 3, we go to the British tech tree, and we have the FV215B183. Now, I have this tank here because this is a very hard tank to play due to the fact of how hard it was nerfed. I mean, the gun is inaccurate. It's very bad gun handling. You don't have a fully rotatable turret. You're extremely slow. You have no armor and no camo at all. As soon as you shoot, you're going to be spotted, deleted by other tanks because you have absolutely no armor. This is a very hard tank to play, but when it is played correctly, you can really get out that damage because of the massive alpha on the tank. And it's very fun whenever you get some good battles in this because of that Hesh. But you have to know how to use Hesh, how to be able to cope with the horrible camo and many other things. That is why this is coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we go to the German tech tree, and we have the WT aufp, or also known as the Waffle. And now this tank has absolutely no armor. I mean, one of the worst armor tanks, if not the worst, besides maybe the RHM or the Grill in the game. I mean, it has so little armor. It is absolutely horrific. And it does have that large 640 alpha gun, at least if you're running that gun. So it is long reload, and low penetration gun. Well, it's not super low, but it's not like super high. So it is hard to get out those damage whenever you are camping because, you know, not always going to be in the best scenarios. So it is very hard to play because camping, as we all know, I hate camping. I think you should never camp. That's why this is going to be one of the last lines I go up, because these tanks are not as very good at all going front line. So that is why I'm putting this at number 2. Now, for the honorable mentions, we have also in the German tech tree, the VK72.01K. Now, this has the longest reload the worst DPM in tier 10, and has one of the best armor profiles frontally, though, but is very hard to use. Because in this tank, you cannot side scrape. Your sides are super weak. This tank, you need to be going out frontally, straight forward, no side scraping, and that is how you will perform best, which is very hard and inconvenient and awkward for many players, along with that horrible DPM, which makes this a very hard tank to play. Now coming in for the second honorable mentions, we have the 005. And this tank is here because it has no armor as well. As you can tell, the trend is no armor tanks, because they are very hard to play with. And this as well has a clipper, and it has like 20-second long reload, so that is a very long time to wait in between shooting, which leaves you very exposed within that massive tank. You are absolutely you're the size of a barn. This is a massive tank, and it can just absolutely get wrecked by HE all over that turret. That is why this is our second honorable mention. Coming for the last honorable mention, also in the British tech tree, we have the Vickers Light. And as you know, light tanks are really made for very skilled players because of the higher tier ones, higher tier light tanks, because of their no armor characteristics, and usually that is a lot harder to play with for not quite as skilled players. So this is coming here because you have basically no armor. You have a very bad gun, well, unreliable gun, not bad. Your gun's actually good. You got good DPM penetration, and you have that HESH and nice alpha as well. But the tank's just extremely unreliable at aiming. I mean, the tank cannot hit snapshots. You have no armor, which makes this tank very hard to play. Now, coming in for first place, we do have the Grill 15. Now, this tank is basically the WT, but even one tier higher, which makes it even harder to play with absolutely zero armor and not a fully rotatable turret, which is one downside from that Grill 15 from the WT, which makes this, in my opinion, probably the hardest tier 10 to play in World of Tanks Blitz, and maybe one of the hardest tanks to play in the entire game. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and tell me down below if you agree with mine or if you think I missed any. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.